I never believed in love at first sight. I was a practical woman, a nurse, for heaven's sake. I dealt in stitches and blood pressure readings, not fairy tales. But then, he sat down next to me in Ward 7, and everything I thought I knew about myself quietly fell apart. It was a Tuesday. I remember, because Tuesdays were always the longest shifts at Mercy General, the kind of day where you count the minutes until your break, and even then, you eat a cold sandwich standing up in the hallway because there are never enough chairs in the break room. I had just finished a double. 16 hours on my feet. I was not supposed to be there anymore, but a patient in Ward 7 had asked for water 3 times, and each time, a different orderly had walked past without noticing, so I stayed. Just 5 more minutes, I told myself. I was always telling myself 5 more minutes. That's when I heard him. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet voice from the chair in the corner, the one beside bed 12. You didn't have to do that, you know. I turned around. He was sitting there, legs crossed at the ankle, still in a dress shirt that had clearly been worn since early morning. His tie was loosened, his sleeves rolled up. He had the look of a man who had been keeping vigil for a very long time. Tired, but not broken. I know, I said. I wanted to. He smiled. It was the kind of smile that doesn't ask for anything, the kind that just gives, and I don't know why, but something in my chest did the strangest thing. It softened. His name was Daniel. The patient in bed 12, the one I had been bringing water to, was his mother. She had been admitted 3 days ago. A fall. A fractured hip. Surgery that had gone well, but recovery that was slow. The way recovery always is when the body is older and the spirit is tired. He had taken the week off work. He didn't say it like it was a sacrifice. He said it the way you say something obvious, the way you'd say, I put on shoes before going outside. Of course he had taken the week off. Of course he was there. We talked about nothing important, the terrible coffee from the vending machine on the 2nd floor, the strange acoustics of hospitals at night, how every sound travels differently. The fact that his mother, even in her sleep, kept one hand loosely closed, like she was holding something invisible. She does that when she's dreaming about my father, he said quietly. He passed 4 years ago. She still reaches for him. I didn't know what to say to that. So I just sat with it, with him, for a moment, and somehow that was enough. Over the next 4 days, I started to understand what people mean when they say a person can change the way a room feels. Daniel didn't do anything extraordinary. He brought his mother her favorite biscuits, the ones from the bakery 3 blocks from their childhood home. He read to her from a paperback he kept in his jacket pocket. He greeted every member of the nursing staff by name, without being asked, without making a show of it. He just paid attention. And quietly, without meaning to, I started paying attention too. On the 5th day, he was gone when I arrived for my shift. His mother was still there, doing better, the notes said, but the chair in the corner was empty. And the room felt different, smaller, somehow. I told myself it was nothing. I had a job. He had a life. People pass through hospitals like they pass through airports, with urgency, with grief, with relief, and then they are gone. That was the nature of the work. I had always been fine with that, but that evening, at the end of my shift, I found a folded note tucked under the water jug on the nurse's station. It said, "For the nurse who stayed 5 more minutes. I didn't catch your name. I hope I still can. D." And beneath it, a phone number. I stood there in that hallway for a long time, longer than I probably should have. The night shift was arriving. Somewhere down the corridor, a monitor was beeping steadily, the most ordinary sound in the world. And I was holding a small folded piece of paper, like it was something fragile, because it was. I waited 2 days before I called. Not to be coy. I genuinely needed 2 days to convince myself that what I was feeling was real. And not just the strange intimacy that hospitals create, the way they strip everything down to what matters and make strangers feel known. He picked up on the second ring. "I didn't catch your name either," I said, "but I think I'd like to." There was a pause, and then that smile. I couldn't see it, but I heard it. "Sarah," he said. "My mother told me. She said you were the one who always brought her the water." I laughed. For the first time in what felt like a very long time, I laughed. And it didn't feel out of place at all. We met for coffee the following Saturday, and then again the Saturday after that. And slowly, the way real things grow, something between us took root. Not in spite of where it started, but because of it. Because we had already seen each other in a place where pretense doesn't survive, where what's left is just people, doing their best, being kind when they don't have to be. His mother was discharged on a Thursday. She sent me a card. Inside, in careful handwriting, she had written, "Thank you for the water. And for my son." I still have it, on my kitchen windowsill. I told you, I was a practical woman. I dealt in facts, and the fact is this: love doesn't always arrive the way you expect it to. Sometimes it arrives tired, in a rumpled dress shirt, sitting in a hospital chair at 10 at night, just being there for someone. And sometimes, if you're paying attention, you recognize it. If this story stayed with you, share it with someone who still believes love can find you in the most unexpected places. Because it can. And if you have a story of your own, a moment where life surprised you, tell me in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next story.